Hey everyone, it's Jason, and welcome to another unboxing for Disney's Sorcerers Arena Epic Alliances. This is the Leading the Charge expansion. So we're going to get 3 brand new characters. You can see right here, we're going to get Buzz Lightyear, Elsa, and Scar. So yeah, there's going to be some fun different characters to play as. I like the fact that there's villains in the game as well as heroes. And they don't play any differently. It's not a heroes versus villains game. They don't have some weirdly different mechanic. They're just, hey, it's another character. Because it's a really cool concept. So in this expansion, there isn't too much extra that came out. So they did add 2 abilities that may be in other expansions, but weren't in the core set. One were constant abilities. So some characters have constant abilities. These are shown in the bottom right portion of a character's ability card below their skills. They're always in effect when your character's in the arena, including during other characters' turns and rival summoners' turns. And we have a brand new status effect. The status effect is called Invulnerable, has been added. So it's a constant effect that says whenever a character be dealt damage to his character, prevent that damage. When damage is prevented this way, remove Invulnerable. So basically they get a free hit. So then we have our different tokens. So we're going to have a new Invulnerable token. We're going to have Scar, who has 8 health, 6 victory points, and an initiative of 60. So he's not like the super fastest. Elsa there with 70 initiative, 9 health, 7 crowns. Buzz, who has 35, he's a little bit quicker, a lot quicker actually, 8 health and 5 crowns. And we also get 3 more immobilized tokens, just because in case you might need them. So if we flip these over, again, then we just get the other sides, and they're all blue tokens. Now, it is kind of cool as well, as we do get 3 spare status effect tiles you can use to replace the effects, adding any additional status effect to the game you might need. So this might be in case, like, hey, I'm playing through and now I'm needing additional invulnerability or additional whatever, you can add them. So these 3 sides are blue, and if we flip them over, the other 3 sides are orange. So you can either draw your own picture in there and write your own name and have some extras, or if you ever have something that stacks up for whatever reason, like I don't remember if Immobilize stacks up, or example, if we have Invulnerability stacks up twice for whatever reason, you know, if it gets double stacked, you could always just do something like this, just to show it's been double stacked, or even if you want to put it like normal, just be like, hey, it's double stacked, and the first time it gets hit, you remove one, just remove the one without the words first. And if you have a 3rd status, it could go there. Just remember that, hey, it's blue, blue is the same, you know, before the next word one. So it's a possible way to use them, but that's kind of cool that they did add those in there just in case you would need them. Alright, I don't want to spend too much time going through all that. We're going to look at our miniatures quick. So here we have Elsa's. Of course, I have a little shadow. I love the acrylics. I also love that they're different on the back. That's a really cool effect. And then she has her little symbol there, the flag. So that's showing that that's part of her set. So you also have noticed on the Invulnerable set, we have the little leading the flag charge. Versus if we look at Immobilize, they have the key to show they're the same length for the base game. Not that that should make any difference for sake of anything, just to point out. But yeah, she has a snow crystal on the bottom there. I'm going to look at all the miniatures first before we hop into the characters. I don't have to keep holding them up. We have Scar. Be prepared. And there's Scar's body. He's on just a giant rock. And finally, Buzz Lightyear to the command. Very cool. Yeah, I don't know if they have too many more sets of these coming out. It would, again, I'm sure they might only put out whatever was in the mobile game. I would love it if they just kept coming out with more and more of these, at least to finish off some, like, the character teams. Like, they made 3 characters per team. Like, we have Buzz. It'd be neat to get, like, Woody and, like, Zurg, or Woody and Jesse, or something. You know, just so you could make a full team. Alright, we're gonna start off with Elsa here. So, This is our beginning side, so we see all our different icons on the side. If you're not sure what that means, you'll have to go back and double check. Rewatch the original videos. I'm not going to go through all of them in every one expansion. But she has a hand size of 2 there, with her health and her crowns. She's, of course, from the movie Frozen, and she has Hero and Wilds. Her skills are Glacial Armor. Banish 2 magic cards. Two magic Elsa cards from your discard pile to give Elsa 1 invulnerability token. So that's pretty cool. And then duty to Angriel. Might be saying that wrong. If Elsa is on the crown space, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a non-magic card, draw it. Interesting. So she can kind of sneak through her deck a little bit quicker than hopefully find her magic using her other things. If we flip her over to her upgraded side, she of course keeps her skills, but now she also gains Freeze Solid. Immediately after upgrading Elsa, range up to 1 rival within range 2 gains 2 immobilize and then draw a card. Target up to 1 rival within 2 range to gain 2 immobilize and draw a card. So it's kind of cool. It is neat, but it also means that you have to like plan on when to upgrade her to use her ability the best you can. So instead of just giving her an extra new ability, you have to like be planned for using that. Alright, so let's take a look at her deck. So we're going to start off with Ice Magic. Of course, I have the exact same backs as all the other cards. And she does get 2 copies of these. So she has deal 2 damage to adjacent rival. Then you may discard a card. If you do, target 1 rival gains damages when you gain them 2 immobilize. So you're going to be passing up these immobilized tokens pretty quickly with her. She has 1 copy of Show Yourself. Range 2, deal 1 damage to 1 target, up to 1 target rival. In addition, or gaining additional movement phase and gaining additional action phase this turn. That's pretty cool. Damage and extra. Nice. Can't argue with that. She has the Bridge. Move up to 2 spaces. Then choose one. Choose or discard. Choose one. Okay, choose one or discard a non-magic card. To choose both. Each character on your team recovers 1 health, or remove any number of stats effects from each character on your team. So that's cool. A healing card. So it's kind of neat. She has her main ability here, Glacial Armor, has her Banishing, which removes from the game 2 magic cards to gain invulnerability. Then lots of her other cards are using all the non-magic cards for those effects. You can see a lot of her cards have magic. So I think, yeah, magic symbol. So I'm guessing it's basically like she banishes her cards for that Glacial Armor, but she can get rid of, you can get rid of like your teammates' cards in your deck to use the rest of your effects, is what it's looking like. We have 2 copies of Bruni, Gale, and the Earth Giants. Deal 2 damage up to 1 target adjacent rival. Move up to 1 rival 1 space, or deal 1 damage up to 1 non-adjacent rival. So a little bit interesting. So either hit close, get someone away from you, or do like a little bit more of a ranged attack. Ooh, I'm sorry. We have 3 copies of those. I didn't think we had 3 copies of cards. Alright. The Unknown. Move up to 3 spaces. You may discard this card to draw a card. If you discarded a magic card this way, draw 2 cards instead. So that works very well. Only Athohan knows. Move up to 3 spaces. Reveal a card from the top of your deck until you reveal a magic card, or put the last card, your last card, whichever comes first. Reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a magic card, or your last card. Okay, if you get to the end of the deck. Put 1 card revealed this way into your hand, shuffle the rest in your deck. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty helpful. And then her last one is the Water Nook. Move up to 4 spaces. So her whole gimmick is basically going to be you know, deciding to either get rid of her magic cards to gain her armor, but she can move around and she can do a bunch of damage. She's a lot of movement cards. She's going to get to where she needs to be. And then you can go ahead and have her give some invulnerability, immobilization to other people to keep them from running away. And then glacial armor to keep herself alive. And then she's just going to be hitting people with some damage. But at the sake of the glacial armor to keep her alive, she's going to be limiting her deck. So every time you do it, your deck is going to get smaller by getting rid of magical cards. Now, if you have another character on your on your team that has a lot of magical cards, you can keep it up for a lot longer. But again, you're going to be sacrificing because you're banishing them for that armor. But it might be worth, 2 cards here or there, 2 cards here or there, couple of times to keep her alive to do extra damage. So that's pretty cool. That was Elsa's 10 cards. Now let's look at Buzz Lightyear. So Buzz Lightyear is, of course, from Toy Story. He has Hero in Downtown. His skill, he only gets 1, is deal 1 damage to a rival exactly 2 spaces away who was already dealt damage this turn. So pretty powerful because it doesn't cost anything to do, but it's very specific because they have to be exactly 2 spaces, and they've already had to been damaged this turn. So we'll see how well that works with the rest of his deck. Yeah, we flip him over, we get Unshakable Determination. At the beginning of your ending step on Buzz Lightyear's turn, you may deal 1 damage to a rival that is already damaged this turn. So he's going to just take advantage of people that have already been hurt. So this is going to be very interesting. Alright, we start off with Galactic Punch, and we have 2 copies of that. Deal 3 damage to an adjacent rival. You may reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a attack card, move that rival up to 1 space. Cool. So you can get them where you need them to be. We have Laser Blast. We have 2 copies of that one. Choose a straight line of adjacent spaces from Buzz Lightyear to an edge of the arena. Deal 1 damage to each rival in that line. You gain additional movement this turn. Okay, so that's going to be very helpful for these abilities for people that are already damaged. Because basically he could just shoot across the board, damage maybe 2, maybe 3 different characters if they were all in a way. If he can line them up properly, that's pretty cool. Then he has Rapid Fire. Deal 1 damage to 1 adjacent rival. Deal 1 damage up to 1 rival 2 spaces away, and deal 1 damage to 1 rival 3 spaces away. So, yeah, he's going to excel at kind of being decently ranged away. And again, even with his last card, you could target guys just right. You might be able to do like 2-3 hits in a couple of turns there. That's pretty sweet. Spinning Wing Kick. Deal 1 damage to each adjacent rival, and move 1 adjacent rival to 1 space. Move each adjacent rival to 1 space. So yeah, he wants to get in and then hit guys, but then knock them back. You can hit from them 2 spaces away, or maybe move them in a line and hit them out of it. So that's pretty cool. Requesting Backup. Range 2, deal 2 damage to a rival. Each of your adjacent allies to that rival deals 1 damage to that rival. So here again, this could work with pushing guys. Maybe hit them with a different ability and then push them in to like next to one of your characters. Cool. To infinity and beyond. Choose 1 adjacent ally, then move up to 3 spaces. You may move that ally to an unoccupied space adjacent to Buzz Lightyear. Sweet. That's helpful. Then his last 2 cards are the same, and they're activating Crystallic Fusion. Move up to 3 spaces. Buzz Lightyear may pass through rivals while moving. If Buzz Lightyear passes through at least 2 characters this way, draw a card. Cool. Yeah, so he's going to be all about positioning himself and his rivals where he can do the most damage. He generally wants them to be a couple spaces, like a space or 2 away. Yeah, and then you can just go ahead and hit them, but you can also move them around a little bit too, which can be very helpful. Like, get them off a space. You don't want them, push them into a corner, push them next to another rival. very interesting stuff there. Alright, then finally we have good old Scar. He's, of course, from the Lion King, villain and the Wilds. He has the skill of the Opportunist. Discard any movement card from your hand and move one character one space. If that character has been on a crown space, move Scar into that space. Ooh, so that's kind of fun. So again, very specific on when it's gonna happen, but like when it happens, it's gonna be very helpful. And then constant ability, oppressive rule. If Scar is on the crown space, whenever a rival would recover health, they may recover that many -1 wound instead. Yeah, so it's like Scar is gonna force himself on that crown space, and then if he can stay there, he's gonna make your enemies pay for trying to heal. Not pay, but like not heal as well. His upgrade ability is Control the Pride Lands. At the beginning of your end phase on Scar's turn, you may discard any action card from your hand to deal up to 2 damage to each rival on a crown space. Interesting. So you can discard movement to potentially move on to a crown space, or alternatively, when you upgrade, you can discard action cards to do damage to them. And you can always discard that thing. Hey, I can't get over near them, or I can't get close enough to hit them, so I'm going to just damage them instead. Maybe you're on a different, crown space too, and you could do that. And then hit them from a different one, and then also use Oppressive Rule. Ooh, that could be very, very mean combos. Alright, his deck is Vicious Slash. Deal 3 damage up to 1 adjacent rival. If that rival is not KO'd this way, move them 1 space. Then move up to 1 space. Ooh, to smack them, move them away, and then potentially follow them. Like, hey, I'm going to knock you away from, like, the crown or from my ally or whoever, and I'm going to chase you down. Again, or kick them off the crown, then move on top of it. We have 2 copies of Be Prepared. Range 2, deal 1 damage to a rival. Move that rival up to 1 space. Then if that rival is adjacent to a villain character you control, that rival summoner loses 1 crown. Ooh, that's kind of cool, though. There's no other villains in this set. Like, you use these 3 as your deck. Or you team up with other ones. That could be very interesting. Just smack them around, and then they can potentially do extra damage. The Singer Swipe. Deal 2 damage to each adjacent character. If Scar is on a crown space, this damage cannot be reduced by other effects. Yeah, so get Scar up on that crown. The Treacherous Plot. Scar, my brother. Deal 5 damage to an adjacent non-token character. Their summoner gains 3 crowns. If that damaged character was on a crown space, gain 1. Interesting. If you KO an ally this way, you gain an additional action phase this turn. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you're sacrificing. You're potentially sacrificing, giving 3 crowns to somebody, but you might get one if they're on a crown space, but it gets them off the board too for a turn. What's also interesting is, what I'm curious on this, because it does say, with an adjacent non-token character, and that says if you KO an ally, you gain an additional action phase. So this could be like, oh, I have, Buzz and Elsa sitting around. I have Elsa up on top of a crown space, right? And she's about to die now. She has 1 hit point. Or she has 2-3 hit points. Who cares? She's not going to survive probably another turn or 2. I could deal 5 damage. I gain 3 crowns because I'm their summoner, right? And I knocked them off that space. I gained 4 crowns, and I also get an extra action phase. Am I reading that right? Because that seems a little overpowered. But life's not fair. Each non-token character on your team deals 1 damage up to 1 rival adjacent to them. The character was on a crown space dealt this way, damaged by a villain character this way, gain 1 crown. Cool. So again, teaming up with villains. That's always helpful. He's got 2 copies of Calculated Movement. If Scar is on a crown space, choose a rival summoner. That summoner banishes a card from their hand, and you draw a card. Move up to 3 spaces. So it's going to force you off of that crown, which is, you know, not generally ideal, but you're making someone get rid of a card, which could really, really mess them up. Awesome. And then our last 2 cards are Closing. Move up to 3 spaces. Move one ally up to 1 space. If that is a villain character, move them up to 2 spaces instead. So cool. He's going to team up with the villains very well. I almost wish he had some way of summoning hyenas. That would have been a really cool card. Like one of his abilities would have been like, even if he's like you have to be on a crown space and like banish 1 card to summon a hyena token or something. That would have been kind of cool. Yeah, so he's going to take advantage of working with villains, as well as being on that crown space or being near it, or taking guys off of it. That's going to be his focus. So yeah, this is a very interesting set, with 3 very interesting characters. I feel like they work very well as a team. I mean, the only 2 downsides, realistically, as a team, would be Scar wants to use villains in a couple of his set, and he has no villains to work off. Elsa wants to use extra magic cards. There's no other characters here that really have any magic cards. It means she'd be forced to sacrifice only her cards versus potentially sacrificing any card. But I can see it really well of like using Elsa and Buzz to, like, Elsa can get in and like hold guys in a certain area and just kind of tank on them. Well, Buzz could be like moving guys towards her, and then he could also be shooting them, or Elsa could be holding them so he could get far enough away to do extra damage. Where Scar could just be focused on getting them crowns and staying on there, while the other 2 are keeping everyone else distracted. So yeah, they could be a very synergetic team, which I think the whole point. But on the other hand, is they are leading the charge, means I also feel like each one of these could be very well as the beginning of a team. You can start Scar as the head of a villain team. You can have Buzz be a good character for like setting up other ranged characters or things like that. And Elsa, again, very good tank. She can draw fire from people because she has that mobilize to stop guys from moving. Very cool. Yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out the other Sorcerers Arena videos. See you guys later. Bye.